All right, this is the first time I've tried it this way, so the audio is crap. We're gonna try it regardless. So July 20th, 1944, that was 77 years ago that the July 20th, 1944 bomb plot took place. And so what occurred at that time? What occurred? Well, basically, it came from conservatives who were upset about Hitler. And of course, 1944, of course, by this point, the invasion of Normandy had already taken place. The Operation Bagration had already taken place in the East. So the situation was catastrophic. And of course, these anti-Hitler conservatives had existed for since the beginning, pretty much, and had taken different forms, right? Before Hitler, they took more of a Nazgul point of view argument. But what do we see in that today? What do we see in that today? We see a country that is broken apart. We see what occurred on January 6th. Yeah, it was a plot by the aristocracy. It was, yeah. And I just saw the footage once again. I'll probably download it again because it's great footage of Roland Freisler, the infamous hanging judge, went Morda, and went off and just being very angry, very nasty. And we saw all this sort of stuff that occurred, and what can we draw about today, though? And this is going to be fairly short, but what can we draw from today? What's going on, Christian Dissident? I would say what we can draw from it for today is what occurred on January 6th. That would be the obvious thing, right? January 6th, we saw the insurrection and all this. Basically, it was goobers that were dressed up like the village people. What's going on, First Name? What's going on, Southern Circle? People that were dressed up like the village people and came in and they LARPed. And even though there are some folks who had zip ties and stuff, a lot of folks were pussy and didn't really do much. The thing is that, with July 20th, there was a serious attempt made to enforce Operation Valkyrie so that the conservative aristocracy types could take over Germany and basically do similarly what Otto Strasser had talked about in Germany Tomorrow, where it's just like, we're going to give the land back to Poland. And it was basically just leave us be, please, let us rule again. And we see a little bit of that cowardice with conservatives today, where it's like, please don't arrest us. Please don't, we're not representative of all those folks. We're not representative of those folks that did January 6th. That was awful, right? It's either that or, it was Antifa. Those were all feds. That was all, like I said, if you can't even take credit for what happened, give me a break, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, take it, at least take credit for what you did, So I just think it's ridiculous at the end of the day when you see these folks talking shit about, and like I say, as far as I know, Nazi Germany did not show officially the people the footage of Roland Freisler berating these people in court, because it would probably be pretty bad for morale, to see this guy ranting and raving. Imagine if you saw a judge in the U.S. today that said, Yes or no, are you an evil white supremacist? And could you see that from a judge? You could, I'm sure that they exist, but could you see someone like that? Yeah. I question some of the stuff in Germany tomorrow. I think Otto Strasser was trying to say to the Allied, I'm not with Hitler. Oh, yeah, exactly. But the common denominator is conservatism as an ideology, whether you want to claim William Buckley, whether you want to claim, whoever. You want to go back to Thomas Carlyle. I know Carlyle is someone that, a lot of folks talk about nowadays, but, the thing is that conservatism is always just 10 years behind progressivism. That's all it is. And they eventually give in. Conservatism, you can talk about Christianity, they can talk about Judeo-Christian values as well, but I feel like this is something that it's a losing battle. And it went to show, even in 1944, it was a losing battle. What were they really going to do? What were they going to do, folks? I really don't. I honestly don't get it. But as we look on today at this country, and we see the rise in inflation, we see the military pretty much giving up and purging its people, the violent extremists that they are, et cetera, et cetera. We see all this, and we think, where are we going to go from here? How much more is going to come out? How much more is going to come out? How much more will be surrendered? And you say to yourself, like I say, I go back and forth on the idea of balkanization, but I think that maybe it won't happen. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe it won't occur the way I think it will. Some days I think, yeah, it's going to happen tomorrow. Other days it's just like, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And I'm in that moment right now. Like I say, it's one of those, it's just like when you go on a bender, arguably. It's like, yeah, we're going to, I'm going to go out there and do so with my life. And then the next day you still be up, you're like, I'm not going to do that, Yeah. Most American Christians don't even know basic theology. Their Christianity is liberal as fuck. Oh, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. But yeah, as I think on this day, July 20th, 1944, we see, in general, as far as I know, even in Germany, July 20th, and apart from Klaus von Stauffenberg, I don't know, that's not his full name. I know that I'm leaving out words, but there's not much to be said for it. People would rather talk about, other folks that were, better optics. Sorry, I'm messing with stuff, but yeah, what would have happened? Yeah, American Catholics are basically just liberal Protestants. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just think that this is why I don't outright call myself a conservative, because what are you holding on to? What are you conserving? I mean, I know people say that all the time. It's like, what are you conserving? But it's true. What are you conserving? When you just keep surrendering, But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about that. I hate to, but you think about what can we learn from that time? And I think ultimately the idea is that you can have a coup against the system or whatever you think, but if you can't gain the support of a larger group of people, a larger group of your population, then you're pointless. And that's the whole thing with von Stauffenberg, of course, was an aristocrat. You can go ahead and say he wasn't all day, but he was. The thing is that some relatives supported him. Others remained loyal to the system. If you think about the von Stauffenberg family, you could talk about, General Beck. You can talk about, there are so many other casts of characters in there. Or I think General Speidel as well, who I think was one of Rommel's adjutants. But you think, either you're a set of a Cantist with no support, or your Pope is a rollover. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or you can become like SSPX, right? You could be what is it? I can't think of it, but yeah, I saw a video from Modern Politics, and for those who know what Modern Politics is and who runs it, y'all know who I'm talking about. But basically what they were saying is, and I think I was going to do this in another video, but I'll go ahead and say it here and then I'll wrap it up. But you see that, a lot of ways Christians just focus on the text. They focus on the Bible. And arguably, I would say, now this is going to be a cringe point, but I'll go ahead and say it, is the reason that Zionism is still viable is because Zionism is based on the stories, and it's also based on martyrs. This is why Islam is still very much loved, in my opinion, very much something to be defended, because there are martyrs. There are people who say, this person died for our religion. Not just Jesus Christ, because people can go ahead and say that, but that's not something palpable. But when Catholics talked about their saints and everything else, and these people that gave their lives for their faith, much like Joan of Arc, this and that, then you had people that willingly gave their lives for Christianity. Now, of course, like I say, this is neither here nor there, but I think that's my opinion. How much of a propaganda coup and a great talking point for Zionists when those 3 Zionists were hung in the Sergeant's affair, and 2 British sergeants were hung and their bodies were booby-trapped and put in a eucalyptus grove. That was a boon to their movement. And it made them dig in their heels to say, we are going to kick out the British. Now, regardless of whether or not we want to agree, that's a whole other story. But maybe I'm being cringe. Y'all, if y'all think I'm being cringe, please say so. Be like, bro, you shouldn't be talking like that. But I think that's all I really have to say about it. It goes to show that the system is more resilient than we think, especially the United States system. We can go ahead and say, is the U.S. European or this and that? It's its own thing. But it's a strong enough system that keeps enough people happy. And we have to be aware of that. Will I probably go back on what I'm saying right now? Yeah, probably. But I think that's all I have to say. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully y'all enjoy my rants and raves. And hopefully this audio isn't complete crap. So I think I'll keep it there. See you later. And goodbye.